Hey everybody, it's your friend Sarmate here, and we're back with another episode of Settlement Survival. I hope you're having a fantastic and amazing day today. Check it out, what just got completed, our great castle. Finally, after a little mishap and of course more time, we have our great castle completed. Currently though, nobody's living in it. So it's cool, looks great. I like the little garden detail on there, and awesome building. Remember, this is just basically a big apartment building. 80 families, 5 members per family. And you can do fancy textiles in there, provide extra insulation and reduced fuel consumption. We have a few luxury beddings, not a whole lot, so I'm not going to upgrade that, especially since there's nobody in there. There's a couple other things that I did in between episodes. Of course, we got all 3 of our, whatever this word is, completed. I added in a bunch more senior housing. So when I built these, as you can see, the occupants, 38 out of 38 on all 3 of these, they would be instantly inhabited, full, 36, 36. 3 more over here, 36, 36, 36. And I was doing that because I was noticing our population. I wanted to build our population up a little bit more, but I'm struggling really hard to keep our population. So what's happening is we're losing more people than we are gaining. Obviously, that's why we're losing population. So there's a couple of things happening. So the fertility rate is 24%. I've watched this fertility rate go in between 24 and 20, and when I hit 20 I tried a couple things. So one of the things was to do these senior housings, and that was my hope, was that those people would open up the houses, and then the families that have the ability to have young kids would be able to move into those houses and do that. That seemed to be okay. It seemed to work all right. So if we look here, yeah, 24, and that was cool. And then I noticed that our city stress was up to at 81 at one point. So what I did here, I clicked on our laborers, and I was looking at these people, and I was just kind of clicking random people. So Janet here, for example, I was like, okay, what's the stress level? And 77%. I was like, okay, that's pretty high. What about this person? 77. What about one more person? 82. So these people are all really high stress level. And I'm wondering if that is having a negative effect on our procreation rate. That's why I decided to build those other old folks homes. Another thing that I try to do, something that we haven't even built yet, is these guys right here, the garden villas. These have a minus 25% stress reduction. A regular house has 5, just so you know. And a luxury house has 15. So I was upgrading a couple of our houses over here. This is kind of our luxury area. All of these houses are now upgraded to luxury. So if I click on this, 15% citizen stress reduction. So pretty good. I'm thinking that in order for this number to get as low as possible, that's what you got to do. Eventually, you got to upgrade your houses to luxury houses, or you got to build a bunch of these guys and get that minus 25 buff. The luxury apartments do not have that little buff in the corner. So these are slightly worse than I thought they were, but they're still pretty good. You can still do the multiple upgrades in here. Looks like I'm missing a few things. So we'll pop up in here. See, okay, cats and the dogs also reduce the stress. So we'll go ahead and we'll upgrade that with a puppy, and we'll check this guy. We need another dog, so we don't have that. We'll throw a toilet in there, and then let's go check cat or dog on this one, and we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, great. So that's the thing. So I think what I'll do if I do a next playthrough is I want to watch that a little bit closer. I don't usually pay attention to the city stress, and I'm thinking that once we get to the house upgrades, the luxury house, I want to swap most of our houses to luxury houses. I want to see if we can keep this really low. The city stress usually gets pretty high, and I was like, oh, it's this population that's driving it up so bad, which is true, but I want to fight it a little bit more. Another thing that I tried to fight the negative thing here and the low fertility rate was getting our health up a little bit. So we were doing pretty good on health. We're 121%, really great. And we got that way because I purchased 5,000 of medicinal soaps. And I went through and I upgraded our bathhouses. You can see here, most of these all have at least medicinal soap in them. I did that because this says mass the herb soap storage to provide more kinds of services. And I was really wondering what that meant. And it didn't look like it did anything. So I'm not sure, but I did go through, upgrade our bathhouses. And now, of course, we had about 5,000 medicinal soap. So people were happy about it. And then the health went up. So great. So that helped out a little bit. Another thing that I did with our technologies is, let's see if I can find it here. I think it's about right in here. Here it is, big thing. We now have the ability to make cathedrals. So pretty great. I did have an upgrade of the bell tower. I mentioned that we were going to do that a little bit. And let's see if we have another one built up. I think I built 2. Yes. So here's the other one over here on this side of the town. So we're going to go ahead and upgrade this guy as well. Remodel the church with bell towers to carry out missionary work in a larger scope. Basically means that the radius here increases the happiness a little bit further. So pretty good. But we usually just build our cathedrals and our churches and everything and the houses within that radius anyways. So expanding it doesn't really do anything. We just have the bell tower and I wanted to check it out. So that's that. Looking pretty great. And yeah, we are, I think, kind of getting to the end of the road of our series here. I have a bunch of tech points. We're going to go in there. We're going to check that out. One thing that I'm still struggling with, as you can see here, obsidian roads are not getting built. And I think part of that is our labor problem. When I have laborers, they usually disappear pretty quickly, too fast for them to even really get going on building the roads. So I've been trying to keep a decent amount of laborers, but like I said, I've been struggling keeping our population up. Every immigrant batch that comes through, I'm grabbing them. It's like 35 people. It's a huge buff. And then they just kind of dwindle out. So it's kind of a cruddy situation, and I'm not really sure what I can do about it. I have obviously tons of good stuff over here. We're not in the red in anything. 300,000 food, plenty of water, good domestic fuels. We're not freezing to death. So I'm not really sure why I'm struggling so badly with keeping our population up. But anyways, let's go ahead and we'll check out our technology trees. 6 points available, looking pretty great. And that's all credited to that wonder that we put in there. And I also buffed that with books. With that cathedral that I grabbed in between episodes, this is completed. Science, completed. Trades. Okay, so to build that great castle, you know, we needed a ton of bricks, right? So I grabbed large trading post. I don't care about that so much, but what I cared about was a high speed. Remodel the caravan to increase its speed, thus shorten the round trip time. So I got that. Let's go ahead and grab caravan remodel and then trade contracts. Both these are irrelevant at this point for us. Unlock the remodel function for caravans. Max number of caravans increases by 1. Can be pretty good. I never usually have more than 1 caravan going out anyways because of the labor issue. Trade contracts increases the max caravans number in all trading posts and water trading posts. Can be pretty good if you were really doing tons and tons of trading. We'll grab that as well. Okay, 4 points left, but trading, check, completed. Mining, next, check, done. Construction, this we got a couple of things for. Ooh, it looks like I'm going to be 1 tech point short, but that's going to be all right. We'll skip rebuild. Oh, I'll be 2 tech points short right now anyways. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll get reinforcement, bridge building, brick road, and luxury avenue. So bridge building, pretty self-explanatory there. Instead of making wooden bridges, you make cut stone bridges, so you have a little bit quicker walk speed. Brick road is all about the bricks, 100% walk speed. And then luxury avenue is going to be made with jade or gold, and you get 125%, which is the same percentage as obsidian. So those are those upgrades on the roads. For future, I think what I'll do, instead of waiting for obsidian and going from dirt roads to obsidian, I think I'm going to step a little bit into brick roads and then maybe into obsidian. I've noticed that it makes a big difference with the logistics. These people like teleport across the ground basically with the obsidian roads. Like you can see how quickly that little snowflake cruise past. They move really well. So I think that's pretty important. I think that would have helped us out earlier in the game. Okay, so this is mostly completed. Don't really have any use for this or this really, but we got it anyways. So yeah, rebuild is if you have your buildings get destroyed, and then remodel trap is to get extra cubs. And remember, that's babies of the animals in the game. Agriculture is completed, processing completed, and logistics, will be a little bit more short. I thought I had all the tech points I needed. I guess I didn't. But this is basically just a couple more storage options. Cellar is pretty okay. Same function as warehouse, but citizens can walk across the structure. Kind of cool, but unremovable. So you got to keep that in mind. You got to place that for sure where you want that. And then storage boost is a mountain warehouse. Huge warehouse, pretty great. And it can be built on a hillside, also unremovable. That's a mountain warehouse. And then we have the storage center. Same function as warehouse, but with greater storage capacity. So nothing too exciting. It's huge, 10 by 11. But yeah, something else there that we could grab if we have enough tech points. We'll see. Maybe we'll have enough time to get the cellar in there. There's one more thing that I want to show you. And something that I like to do in our playthroughs is complete our collection of plants. When you get good with Carlos, you can buy all the seeds. So that's what I did. They're pretty cheap. I did notice that there is a capacity limit on the number of goods that you can trade in one go. So if we go here to the Grand Bazaar, form a caravan, there is a 0 out of 9. You can only put up to 9 different items in here. So ceremonial bread, herb, powder, all 9 of these different things. That's the cap. So if you go to seeds and you want to buy all the things, you have to go in a couple of different batches. So you do 9 at a time. And that's what I did to get the set completed. So I don't really want to bother with animals, and unfortunately we have been really unlucky with our blueprints from our trades, our merchant trades. So yeah, nothing I can really do about that. I would like to check those out a little bit more, but we can't because I can't control that. So unfortunately we didn't really get to see that in this playthrough. If we go down to our blueprints here, we have the Great Palace. I'm not going to bother with the Great Palace or the Great Temple. Great Palace is just basically a better town center. Basically, this guy, better town hall. And the reputation gain from all factions is increased by 100%. So that's pretty significant. That would be a good thing to get earlier in the game. And then we have the Great Castle, and then the Great Temple is a way to get better happiness, but you lose citizens each month. There's sacrifice to the Great Temple. I don't really like that very much. And then we have this guy, and then shelter we didn't need, and then we didn't even go ahead and build these Easter Island statues. They don't do anything. That's it. Blueprints is just these guys, so we don't have anything. I also didn't really do any decorating in this playthrough. I'm not very good at it, so I didn't even do that. Oh, look at this. Jade Bridge, too. I didn't realize that was a thing. Nice. So that's that. And yeah, we're looking pretty good. I'm happy with the playthrough. I would, of course, like a little bit more population, but like I said, having problems with that. Let's see where we're at now. 1,006, fertility rate 23. See, it's gone down since we even talked about it. So unfortunate. I'm not really sure about what's happening. Again, if you know, let me know, and maybe I will do a post or something, or maybe talk about it in the next playthrough, and we can figure out what the dealio is. So I decided to go a little bit longer and make sure that we finished out this logistics tree. So we did get the cellar, storage boost, and market expansion, and I have the cellar and the storage boost buildings set up to show you. So right here is the cellar. It's covered in snow now, so you can't really see a whole lot, but there's really a whole lot to see. It's just a couple of rectangles, and yeah, they can see that they're loading that thing up. And we go in here, 43% full already. Apparently we needed some more warehouses. So that's what that thing is, and you can see people are walking across it, no problem. And then down over here in the south, we have this giant old building right here, the storage center, already getting filled with goodies. Looks pretty awesome. Very, very huge, very large building. But I think they look really cool. They're a nice building, looks good, and it does good stuff. So same function as warehouse again, but with greater storage capacity. Pretty awesome. So what I would probably do is go ahead and come over in here, and instead of doing like a row of warehouses like we did some time ago, you could see that most of these are full. I would take these out and replace them with a storage facility like that, like we just got. For now, that's what we have. We have these warehouses, and I think that's what we'll stay with. And I think that's going to be it for this series and this episode of Settlement Survival. Thanks for coming in and hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed this episode in this series, and I hope to see you again soon. Let me know what you guys want to do coming up here. I remember I want to create a couple of guides for you guys here. I want to do a kind of a beginner's guide and a tips and tricks video. Again, if you have any tips and tricks you'd like to submit to help other people out, send them on over and we'll add them to the video. Have a fantastic and amazing rest of your evening, day, or night, and I'll see you again soon.